Hey guys. Well, you know, some folks that have old cars use them. They use them for different things. Some people use them to drive in parades. Some people just use them to take nice drives in here and there. And I use one of mine for going and getting vintage Mopar parts. Not all the time, but this thing has a cavernous trunk, so I can really stuff the parts in there if I need to. But I went back to the junkyard today over in Tullahoma and finished. I took my doctor's bag with me and finished cleaning the parts off of that demon I told you about. So I did that today, and so I think we're going to go through these parts real quick. I got to get them out on the table there where we can see what's what. But this is the last of it. There isn't anything usable on that car at all anymore. At least nothing that anybody would want. When I got there, there was a couple guys there had already arrived there at the carcass and were kind of cruising around it. And I tried not to get too close to them. That was my usual thing. I usually, even though I'm interested in something there, I kind of stay out of the way so they don't pay attention to me and don't think that I'm trying to get something there. I just wait them out. But I heard them kind of talking about, well, this could be put back together, and there's this back together, and this, that. I don't know what they were talking about, but they're, you know, that could be usable. And I thought, there ain't anything on that car usable. Shit, that thing is. I had to reassess my last statement I made about that car, that it stayed under dry storage someplace. Nah, because I got looking at it closer this time, and that thing's got rust everywhere. So it sat out someplace. The floorboards are going soft, and it's just ruined. So I thought, you ain't putting this car back together. This thing's bent on every corner, every side. The top's bent. Everything's bent on it. The chassis is probably tweaked. The engine's unknown. The transmission's unknown. The suspension and front end, everything's just basic slant six stuff nobody wants. So glass, there's no glass in it. It's any good except maybe the back glass. So I said, nah. So anyway, they got the hood off of it, which was a little bent, I think, but not bad. So they carried it out. I saw them leaving, so I guess maybe it's going to be put on a car that's being painted green with a 360 or something. I don't know. But either way, best of luck to them. So I swooped in and got the rest of this stuff. So we'll get it out there and look at it. But I want to take the time to give a little update on this car. I haven't done much about this car on a video lately. And so let's do that now. So I've been driving this thing a lot more over the past several months than I ever had before. So I've been driving it a lot and running it pretty hard, and so I've got a pretty good idea what kind of shape it's in now. And it's been doing good, actually. No real problems with it. Just a few little minor things that need to be addressed at some point. When I put those new tires on, I took the easy way out. I put those tires on the wheels that were on the Scamp, so I could save the wheels and tires that are on this car and put them on the Scamp so I'd have some good rollers. So I want to move that car around. I wouldn't be on flats. So that's what I did, and I think one of those wheels is got too much run out, bent, or it's got a lot of run out. I noticed that there's one that's got a lot of weights on it right here. And I say that because I get about 60 miles an hour, and 60 miles an hour, and it starts vibrating pretty good. This one's got a weight on it, not too bad. And this one back here has got a weight, but just a normal size weight. There's none of them. I think the right front doesn't have any weights on it, but at least not I can see. Anyway, that seems like that's where the imbalance or whatever's going on any vehicle ever occurs, is the speed you drive the most, about 60 miles an hour. Never 40, never 70, never 80. It's always 60. So I gotta look at that at some point and see what's going on, why it's vibrating. It acts like it's in the rear because it's not really through the steering wheel. So that's going on. And then I'm having a little bit of an unusual brake problem with it. This is these four-wheel. Oh, tell you what, I'm about ready to throw this camera phone in the garbage. So anyway, this thing is overheats it's overheating sometimes. That's why it stops. So I went through it in the freezer. They take that. So anyway, the next thing that's going on is with these brakes, and occasionally, for whatever reason, when I am just slowing down to a stop, not going very fast, I just get a really hard pedal in there, and I don't have much brake action. I mean, I can hardly keep it from rolling at a traffic light. So it's been doing that occasionally, and then it works pretty good going down the road at speed, so I don't know what's up with that. I mean, I can stand on the brake pedal, and it'll still almost just roll with it in gear. So that's not right. And it's not going to the floor. It's not that. It's not a fading pedal. It's just that it's hard as a rock. The pedal's hard as rock. I don't have any brakes to speak of, so I'll have to look at that. That's the thing about drum brakes, man. These things are tedious to deal with. It's all the time having to get in there and fiddle with them and adjust them. I mean, these are self-adjusting brakes. They shouldn't be doing that, But it is what it is. So that's that. And it runs fine. I mean, it just runs great. It seems like it's running just a little bit lean, because when I'm cruising at normal speeds, I can almost feel just a little bit of a surge. But shoot, man, it starts right away, hot or cold, and just idles just fine in traffic. Doesn't run hot, doesn't do anything wrong. So it's just an easy car to live with. I wish it had power steering on it, but for as many miles it probably has on it, it's just pretty dang good. So anyway, I'm happy with it. As I said, I'm planning later on, probably when the Dart gets put back together, to replace this one with the Dart. But we'll see. You never know. But one thing I am going to do is pretty soon I'm going to go swap this out for the Chrysler. The Chrysler's been in the storage for most of the year, because I've been gathering parts up for it to do some more work on it, kind of bring it up to the next level. So I need to go get it and drive it a little bit, and so we'll take this one and put it up for a while. So that's what's going to happen there. So anyway, somebody at the grocery store up here today stopped in for a few things, and the old campaigner sitting out there on the front bench, he's asked me how much you take for that today, and I thought, well, I'm not going to sell that today. But if I did sell it today, I didn't say this to him, but if I did sell it today, it'd take a bunch of your MONEY today. So, that's people like that. They like to amuse themselves by wanting to buy a car until it's time to actually buy a car, and they'd have to spend money, and they don't want to do it. So, don't care. All right, well, let me get that stuff unloaded. Okay, so we'll try to get through this without the camera going off or a train coming by again or something. So anyway, some more of what I picked up. I went ahead and got all the original wiring off of this thing, headlight harness, wiper harness. It's all good stuff. It's all in good shape. It's not cut up, it's not damaged, nothing wrong with it. Then I got this radiator. This radiator sat there, and I kept looking at it. I was considering getting it, and then it occurred to me, I thought, well, why not? It occurred to me as I was taking it out, I thought, that's a 22-inch radiator. That's not a 19, because a car with no air conditioning like that one and that Demon should have a 19-inch radiator, and not this one unless they specified heavy-duty cooling, because it had a 4-blade fan on it. Because normally these have provisions for a fan shroud and a 7-blade fan like that Scamp's supposed to have on it. But you can tell by looking at them. Not only can you measure them, obviously, but you can look at the side panels and see that that's the same as this one, the width. Normally the 19-inch radiators have one of them that's wider. So I pulled that out. The side panels are in pretty bad shape. They're kind of rotted at the bottom. That's why I'm saying this thing sat somewhere for a long time, but see there, it's pretty rotted out. But I think the radiator itself is a good core. But I ran the number on it. It's original Chrysler radiator. Ran the number. The number comes back to a 1970 A-body radiator for a slant 6. But I looked the date code up for it here, and that is 175 of 70. 175 was the end of June. of 1970, and I think what most likely happened was that this may have been a leftover unit that they just didn't use for the 70 production, so they just put it in that car. It's not coded for one on the fender tag, but that's what it got. It could have been replaced. Somebody could have put this in, you know, during its lifetime on the road, but I don't know. And then I picked up the air cleaner, and I know a lot of people now are going to say, well, you get a slant 6 air cleaner? Those ain't worth nothing. Well, they are now. They're hard to find now. Used to be they weren't, but they are now, so I went ahead and got that one. Look how badly put on this sticker was. I thought normally that they would have the least hungover or the least intoxicated person to do this job, but maybe not that day. And here's this guy. I had to leave this last time because I forgot to take a hacksaw with me. So I brought the hacksaw this time and broke 2 blades on it. Brand new blades, those crappy blades that Tractor Supply sells. Remind me not to ever buy those again. But I wanted this not so much for the manifold, because I already have the right manifold for a 71, but this is 70, 71 specific, maybe 72, this thing here, and the linkage. And this is what I really wanted, this heat stove, because that's different from the later ones. I think I might have showed that, but it's different from the later ones, and you can't get it off this thing without taking that downpipe off, and that downpipe's not coming off without some brute force. And the worst part is this manifold is cracked. It's broken. It's no good. Well, I don't know. I probably could JB weld that back together. What do you think? Yeah, sure. So I took this anyway because, like I said, I needed that stuff on it. The exhaust part of it, aside from that stuff, is junk. And I can tell you probably what contributed to that, if not caused it. They did not put the heart, they had it over torqued, and this had been off before anyway, because I had the correct washer and stuff over here, but on this end, they didn't have any washer on it. So it was just torqued down, and these things have to move a little bit. They don't move, they crack like that. So that's what happened. And this is the original choke. I can tell that it's the right one for a 71 because it has that asbestos gasket in it. These are the ones that are open to the exhaust, and you can't get those as asbestos gaskets anymore. You have to make do with something else. But I noticed when I was up there at the junkyard that this spring retainer, the spring anchor, I guess you could call it, is different from what's on my 71 manifold, so I wanted that. So anyway, got that, got the slide for the throttle rod for the transmission, because I'm not sure that I have the right one. I got this. This is not the original, but this is a good thermostat housing. It says 76 on it. Yeah, right there. Maybe that's the year it was made, but this would be before. Hopefully they'll be pre-Chinese. So that's it. And I got this other air conditioning compressor. Initially I left this one behind because it didn't turn. Well, I got it to turn, but it feels like that it's maybe blown up. I know the bearing's making noise. It's not that. The front bearings make a lot of noise, and one of them is. So it feels to me like the thing's maybe blown up. So I'm gonna take the last something out of it, and we'll see. I'm gonna have to get a hammer. Hang on. See what it looks like in there. Do I have something I can use as a hammer? Why, yes. I want to use a rubber mallet. I don't feel like going in to get one. There it comes, I think. Yeah, okay. Let's take a look at it real quick. Here. Come on, boy. You can do it. Get the bolts out. Come on. Get them all out. Alright, well, there's oil in it, something in it. Hey, never mind. Okay, good. Excellent. Well, that's good to know. Keep that. Of course, that's a core. I'm not going to put that just back together like it is. But yeah, very nice. All right, we'll throw that back together and just keep it as a spare, because I already got the first one in there. When it rains, it pours. I couldn't find one for the longest time after my other one was determined to be blown up, and then two of them appeared just like magic. Okay, so, alright. So there we be on this. And I know a few people might say, well, geez, it's good that you got all that stuff, nobody else could get it. I was like this. That car is so far along that I don't know how soon it would just be plucked out of there and crushed and all this stuff be lost forever. And also, this stuff sat there for almost a month. And this car is listed on the website. And people have been in there, so if they didn't want it, you know, they had their chance. If they didn't want it, I'll take it. Sure, I'll take it. If somebody's, you know, if they don't want slant 6 stuff or they don't want the good wiring, I can't believe somebody left that. You know what? What's his name over there in Anderson in charge for this stuff? You'd walk out there with probably a $500 bill spent, easy. And I think I've got $300 in all the stuff I've got. So, I mean, this and all the rest of that haul too. So, you know, and I don't know that I'll use all this, but I'm kind of thinking that I've got enough, almost got enough to start putting another car back together later on if I want to. So, we'll see. All right, guys. Well, that's it. And the camera's held in there, but I guess I'm gonna have to get a new one. Technology. So anyway, this is gonna be a short weekend for me. I got to go out of town again to work, which I wish I didn't. But alrighty. So I think I'm gonna spend the rest of the afternoon put my tools away and clean up the shop in there. And I think in the morning I'm gonna try to get up early as I can, and I'm going to throw the intake on that Tahoe because it's been sitting in there in the shop waiting to go on for a week now. So everything's ready. I've just been so busy with everything that I just can't get it done. One thing I want to show, I think somebody's asked about this before. Maybe. Let's get this here and this here. So people wonder a little bit how to tell what year these compressors are. Never mind. So they've got a date code on the bottom of them, on the pan or the sump. And the other one's a 78, and I suspect this one is too. '76. This is a 76, but they're both RV2s, which means they're the larger displacement. But one thing is I was trying to use the cylinder heads off that. I was trying to use that other compressor that I got as is, because it seems fine, no leakage or anything, no noises, bearings seem fine on it. But as it turned out, you see where those brackets go onto the cylinder head? Well, this one's got the one for this side, which is the passenger side if you're looking at it, but the other, well, this one has them. Go figure. That compressor in there that I'm working on does not have these spaces here. So I'm going to show you that in another video, but I had to deal with that. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up and we'll get this out for you. And here's another thing real quick. This thing's been, this is probably vintage, late 70s, early 80s. And one of these age-old questions is, should a Rodham radiator hose have a spring in it? Well, you can see there's the answer. This one had a spring in it. I had to cut through it. Alright, I'm going to quit yakking. Thanks for joining in, everybody, and at least we can save some more stuff here. See you around. Have a good one. Okay, here we are. So, this is the rear wheel cylinder off the left rear. This is one of the ones that wasn't working. So, I took the wheel hubcap and the wheel and all that off, and took the drum off, and I tied a ratchet strap around the brake shoes so that I wouldn't end up blowing the pistons out of the wheel cylinder, and did a little bit of testing to see if the brake shoes were actually moving back there, and what I found was only one side was moving. So this is how it mounts into the backing plate. This is forward, that's rear. And when I looked in here, I peeled off, before I took this thing off, I peeled off that's the chimney swifts out there making all that racket, by the way. I peeled off the boot just to look in there, and this one's dry and rusty, and looks like this side actually was not moving. The one that wasn't moving, so I went ahead and just pulled this thing. I figured, I had a suspicion about this before I even got into it. Yeah, that's probably what happened. And then this side over here has got some kind of sludge in here. Goop. So I guess it's actually been working somewhat, but it's leaking, trying to leak. So what caused this? I was trying to go back and kind of figure out my timeline about when this started going on, and I noticed after that car sat in this garage in here for about, I don't know how long it was, maybe about 10 months, that it felt like the brakes didn't work right after that. That's right after that, after I started driving it again. So apparently what's happening is the brake fluid needs to be flushed in that car. It's got moisture in it, and it seized up the pistons, one of the pistons in the wheel cylinder, and I guarantee you the front one's the same way. So I'm going to take this is actually a new wheel cylinder I put on 2 years ago. So I'm going to try to get this all apart here and see what kind of shape it's in. And so if I get it going again, you can buy them, but that's $13 that I want to spend. Plus I'm kind of on a time constraint, of course, because we got a car show on Saturday. So yeah, that's bad brake fluid, I'm sure. And that's my fault. I should have flushed that thoroughly. I thought I did, but evidently I did not. So I'm gonna knock these things loose, knock them apart, see if I can anyway, and we'll see what goes on here. Just for the heck of it, I'm gonna this is not the tool you need to be using for this, but I'm gonna push on this one. See if I can get the other one to move, maybe. Shoot, no, that thing's seized. So, what do we want to do here? Hang on. How about it? Okay, sorry about that. I left one of my implements here. Needed out there. Ha 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 ha. I knew it wasn't going to be that easy. Come on. There we go. Squeeze! Okay, so that's the piston. Well, like I said, that's not the way you really need to do this. But anyway, you know what? I said that's a new wheel cylinder, but I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure this might have been one that I rebuilt. You're right. Because it doesn't look new. Matter of fact, it doesn't look new at all. Well, the landlord's at home. So, yeah, okay. So that may be, there's a piston there. Alright, so I'm going to put this thing in the vise over there, and I'm going to see if I can knock that this piston out. See what kind of shape this thing's actually in, because I don't remember. I may just put a kit in that. I might not cheapskate it, just put a kit in it. So let me work on that. Check this out. Thing isn't moving a centimeter. It is locked right up. So, I don't know. I'm gonna look in my stash and see if I have another one of these, but I'm just thinking that's not, I think I cheaped out and just got a kit for it. I think that's what I did. I think I got a kit for these and decided I was just gonna rebuild it. So, evidently, that was not the best idea. So, I'm gonna go tomorrow, the next day, I'm going to look and see where I can find a couple of wheel cylinders. And I probably really need to put all 4 of them on. I may just do that. But I'm going to look first in my stash, as I said, or I didn't say, I can't remember, and see if I have any 9-inch wheel cylinders. I think I do not. I think all I have left is just, I think all I have left is just 10-inch. Car back here behind me, this gold car uses 10-inch brakes. The Scamp uses 10-inch brakes. And how I ended up with 10-inch wheel cylinders without even having those cars, I don't know. But take a look in here, just kind of see what's going on. That's some nasty looking brake fluid. Ooh, boy. That don't feel good at all. That does not feel good whatsoever. Let me take a towel here. Somebody still watching. Gotta clean this out. Oh, man, I need to turn that off. Probably not doing the sound any good. Yeah. That's not good. It's like I feel a very large pit in there too. You guys can't see, and I can't see either. Yeah, I don't remember where my light went to either. I'm not doing too good here. I've been so busy, I guess I'm out of practice making videos. Oh boy, yeah, right up there. Sorry you guys can't see crap, because I can't see it either without a light to speak of, but right up in there somewhere. This bore is supposed to be smooth. It is right there. There's a big old pit in the side of it. Yep, up there. You're hitting it. Oh, that's something else. Okay, there's my answer. That's what you get for cheaping out on stuff like this. And that's what you get for not flushing the brake fluid all the way either. Hi guys, well, that is what it is, so I'm going to go ahead and just source some. Probably need to put all 4 of them on it, but I think I'm going to go ahead and just do the 2 right now to get it back on the road because I'm going to that show. So anyway, it got postponed. They didn't have it last year, and it got postponed this year because they had some kind of conflicting with another thing going on at the track it's held at. So, all right, guys. Well, not a very, very interesting video, just kind of a short one, but I wanted to just kind of bring you along and just show you some of the things I have to deal with and work on along the way. You know, these old cars certainly keep you busy, but you know, it's fun. It's a learning experience. So in the future, if you have some questionable wheel cylinders, don't try to use them because I guarantee you that's one of the old ones. And that's not even one of the originals. So, all right. Okay, thanks for watching, and see you on another. Well, this car is just turning into a real clunker. So I mentioned earlier that I was having it wasn't running exactly right, like it was surging a little bit at cruise speed. So I got home today from where I was going, and I pulled the air cleaner off and looked, and the vacuum advance line there, which is that, had fallen out of the carburetor. So here's the fitting. I'll put the fitting back in with some Loctite. I'm going to get my small hammer and give it a few taps. Alright, and then I'm going to replace the hose. Make sure it's still connected down there, which it is. There. So it's quite a difficult repair. If it was a newer car, I probably would have had to put it on the computer and get a download and all that. Not this one. And then my next big problem I had was my right side turn signal was just coming on steady. And so I went back and looked, and there was a bulb out back here, which is this bulb here. It has this nice smoked appearance now, so it's blown. And I got into my spare parts toolbox thing back there and picked out another bulb and put it in. It's working fine now. So, and I did get the brakes fixed. The brakes are working as well as they ever work now. They're much more responsive since I unstuck the wheel cylinders, and they've resumed their previous normal operation, which means you put them on and it kind of goes left a little bit, then right a little bit, and all that. It doesn't really stop straight, but at least I got 2 front brakes now. And yep, so that's about it. I remember now why that I didn't take the front. I was looking at a video that I did back on these brakes, and I remember now why I didn't take those wheel cylinders completely off, because they have a back behind them. I was telling somebody else today that they have the flex line comes down to a bracket, and then there's a union, and it has a short little metal line in there, which is kind of weird, but that's the way it's set up. And that thing looks like it's original, and I didn't want to try to take that apart because I don't know where to get another one and all that. And I wish I knew why my hubcap keeps turning relative to the wheel. See how it's up against that thing? I just put that on yesterday and it was not doing that. So I don't know why it's doing that. I know I wish it wouldn't do it. So anyway, all right, well, went to the car show today that we have, and that was nice. Pretty good turnout. Met some folks there. Was glad for that. And I was one of 2 slant 6 vehicles in attendance today. Alright guys, well this is about it on this. I think I'm just going to resume my normal usage of this, and anything else comes up, I'll be sure to video it. Thanks for watching.